Good morning. This is Ginger, and I wanted to share a journal I recently completed. I participated in a swap. The theme was a tattered fairy junk journal, and I just wanted to share with you the journal I made. This is the cover. I used a frame that a friend had gifted me from Dusty Attic for this image that I wanted on the cover. And the little sentiment says, "Let your dreams be your wings." I also created this little dangle. Hangs off the spine. And then this is the back. And I created this little wax seal and pin. Let's open it up. And first I need to thank Karen Bradley for her inspiration. I was kind of lost on making a tattered journal. This is not something I'd made before. And she walked me through with it and gave me great advice. Thank you, Karen. So on this first page, it's covered with, throughout the album is covered with vintage doilies and material. And then the inside page, the base is a piece of my eco-dyed material. And then on the pocket is one of my eco prints. And this holds this tag. The back of this tag is embossed with a leaf folder. And then this pocket is created with a coffee dyed glassine bag. And the image on the front. And this tag. All you need is trust in a bit of pixie dust. Then I created this little dangle. And then the next page, I took I used printable images all throughout the album. And this image, I backed it with some gauze and a purple doily. And made this little dangle. This is a little pin that I created using wire, floral wire, and an image. And then this page, I made with a vintage, I think it came off of a pillowcase, a pocket for this tag. This is mushroom themed. Mushroom Melodies, Fairy Serenades. And then I created a pocket on the back using a Tim Holtz folder. Tuck that little image in. And then on this, the center of the journal opens up to this page. And I used an image of this little fairy girl looking at each other. And the sentiment says, "Your reflection is more than what the eye can see. It is a doorway to the soul waiting to be explored." And I used for her wings, it was another Tim Holtz die. And then in the back of this is another Tim Holtz die that creates this little mirror. I tucked back there. And then in each pocket, this is another Tim Holtz leaf die. And then this page, I used cardboard to back these two images. And the dragonflies, I believe, were Primas. And then behind this one, I made this little fairy tag. And this is a tea bag that I put this image on, this little fairy image. And then this is a glassine bag with another little fairy image. And then these just tuck in behind there. And on this side, these little tags say magic, whispers, mystical, believe, and fairies. And they each got a little dragonfly. I can't remember the name of this kind of netting stuff, but I put that behind. And there's a little dangle right there. And then it opens up to this page, the final pages. And this is a little pocket I created using a applique off of old wedding dress. And I made this pocket, or this tag to go in that pocket. And then this last page has a piece of vintage material that I created that pocket. And I sewed this image that says Fairy Whispers. Used a rusted metal frame that I put on there. And in the front pocket, the little tag says Shine Like the Stars. And it's got just 3 little images. That tucks there. And then on the back pocket is this tag. The wings of a trickster flutter in the fairy forest. And that tucks there. And I made a little rusted safety pin dangle with that. And then closes to the back. Thanks for watching.